Hi there, I'm Graham,
And I'm Tannen.
and this is Thoughts from Crystal Street. Welcome back. Only one story we're going to talk about this week because it was kind of the big one, and I figure it's worth talking about. There's some other rumors floating around about Spider-Man, but I'm going to wait till we hear more on that before we talk about it. So, let's talk
Uh,
Aquaman.
um, I can understand the blatant people being upset over the costume and all that. Um,
Real quick sidetrack: if you hadn't seen it yet, it'll be. I'm sure I'm going to edit it into this video. Jason Momoa, in costume Aquaman, has been revealed, and it's very gray picturey, and it's Aquaman in colors and appearance. So
but put up the picture. I mean, he'll have
yeah,
the picture up, but yeah, I mean, if you're familiar with Jason Momoa, what was he originally? Stargate.
there's
Stargate.
Stargate, the Atlantis,
Yeah,
Atlantis,
Stargate Atlantis, and then Game of Thrones.
yeah, and the Conan reboot, which I thought was
It was
underrated. Good
It was.
movie.
But I mean, if you're familiar with him, you know he's not a blonde guy,
No.
and he would look a little funny if they
Yeah.
put a blonde wig on him.
Yeah, blonde's not going to look good on him. And I knew when they announced it was going to be him that they obviously weren't going blonde, and that's fine. I figured they'd go more for what I like to call the Arthurian Aquaman look, which was in the late '90s, early 2000s. Aquaman lost his hand, and he had a long beard, long hair, and he was like a King Arthur style character. And it was a great run of Aquaman stories. And really, after that ended, Aquaman kind of went back to sucking, and he's been good since the New 52 came back out. So when they announced that Aquaman was going to be in Batman versus Superman, I was pretty excited because he is a good character if you use him right.
Yeah,
He, of course, he is the target of much ridicule. The Super Friends didn't help his case. And, I mean, ever since then, Robot Chicken and anybody who can get their hands on Aquaman and gay references and anything else, he takes the bashing of it, of almost worse than any superhero that's out there. Um, but that being said, I thought that if written right, Aquaman could be really cool in this Batman versus Superman movie, and I was really looking forward to seeing the look. And it's not a bad look. It looks like Jason Momoa.
yeah, and yeah, I mean, pretty much the internet buzz was people upset over the look. I mean, there's no orange, there's no green. He's not blonde, and I mentioned this right before we started. It's like I'm curious to know who they're actually offending, because like he just said, nobody's a fan of Aquaman. Why don't you just? I mean, he's still the character. He's still going to be the.
I'm assuming he'll be the king of Atlantis, and I'm assuming he'll talk to fish.
Possibly, or at least telekinetically. I mean,
Yeah,
it might
I
not
don't
be,
expect him
hey,
to.
Hey, buddy,
Yeah,
go get me a cappuccino.
yeah, I don't
Uh,
expect that literal talk to fish. I expect the hand to the head, or they may
right.
not even do that, but you'll just see some little wave of telepathy, and then fish or whatever will start doing what he wants them
Yeah.
to.
But it's like, I mean, the picture looks phenomenal.
Yeah, he
I mean,
looks great.
And if you're sticking with the more late '90s, early 2000s Arthurian Aquaman, Momoa isn't a bad choice.
No.
I mean, it's you don't even have to tell the guy to go to the gym. I mean, it's
No.
Jason Momoa. He's pretty much built for the role. He's just not blonde.
Yeah, dude's yoked. So I have no problem with him. There is something in me that if you're going to translate something to screen, you have to keep something of what they wore. And I'm sure in the character it will be there, but there's also got to be that visual connection. When you think of like Captain America, that's a ridiculous costume
Right.
when it was drawn. And so there was a lot of fear, well, are they going to put red, white, and blue? Are they going to go for that? And they did, and it looked good, but realistic. And I didn't need the orange shirt and the green pants and the yellow belt and the spandex. I didn't need that look, but I wanted some orange and some green. And like you had brought up right before we started this, kind of going with what they did with Superman, where it's blue, but it's an extremely dark blue. It's a dark red.
Yeah.
It's a dark yellow.
Yeah, they made Superman's costume, which is, I mean, that's clearly a comic book. I mean, it's
Mhm.
like prominent colors to really catch the eye of the kids in the 20s that who
Yeah.
were reading them. So I did enjoy how they moved that along, and right before we started, it'd be nice, just really like
Dark green
dark
pants.
forest green,
Yeah.
just armor, or make it look. I mean, you could even have some kind of like the scale mail that he has as really like burnt orange, dark.
Right, almost bronze in
Right.
appearance, but I'd be okay. And it almost looks like it's kind of there now. This picture that they did put out is a little color faded, kind of a lot like the picture of Wonder Woman that was released a while back.
Right.
And now she, of course, but she has the red and some gold in her, and so when they revealed this Aquaman again, it was like they've got Wonder Woman in the right colors, they got Superman in the right colors. Batman could potentially be blue and gray, which I think will be really, really cool. I'm still waiting to see that in full gear, but they did all of them, and it's just like with Aquaman, they just went, let's not even call it that.
They kind of went the X-Men route, where you never saw Cyclops in a single, standard Cyclops. Wolverine has yet to be in a Wolverine costume.
Oh, quick side note, if you haven't, the Wolverine DVD deleted scene, they gave him the costume. It was a deleted scene, and like the Japanese clan gave him the brown and yellow costume. Now he never wore it,
right?
But that was there. But that's the case. The X-Men kind of sidestepped the colorful, and they went with everybody wears this black jumpsuit, and it's, I don't know. Again, just because all the other characters look like they're staying so close to their original costumes, at least again, if they're toned down and scaled back, that's fine. But something is there that goes, that's visually, I go, that's Superman.
Yeah,
that's Wonder Woman.
Right, because right now, I mean, if they don't add, at least a hint of the colors.
Yeah.
Aquaman is going to appear to be Aquaman's evil twin.
Yeah.
It's like, he's got all the powers of Aquaman. He looks a lot like Aquaman, but he doesn't dress alike, and he's not blonde.
Yeah, it's negative Aquaman.
Yeah,
it's just something that I think is, I understand why they're doing it. He is a ridiculed character, and it's so hard to take him seriously because of what's been done to him. And so I think there maybe was a level of timidness to treat him too much like the comic book. Right. But at the same time, the character can be really good. You just have to embrace him. And so that's the only thing that kind of bummed me out is visually, that's Jason Momoa. That's not Aquaman. I don't visually go, that's Aquaman. I could, if you showed me that picture, the picture of Conan, and a picture of Khal Drogo, I don't know that I could tell you which one was which.
Because I assume there's going to be a good 5 minutes of, I know there is 5 minutes of Conan, 5 minutes of Game of Thrones, and probably 5 minutes of this movie where they're just going to be running around shirtless. So in that regard, they have the same. I mean, they're the same.
Yeah.
Now, I like Jason Momoa, but again, he's well, I'm curious to see what they do with him, because he has been very kind of one-dimensional.
Yeah.
But I like the
dimension he has.
Yeah, he does such a good job at it.
He has found his niche young, unlike Liam Neeson, who found his niche late. So, again, I am sure that the character will be great on screen, and we don't even know how much we're going to see him in Batman versus Superman. I think it's just one scene.
Yeah.
And it may just be him talking.
See, and if that's the case, I honestly, I'd be fine with that progression. It's like you see him as...
Yeah,
maybe full on battle armor. Maybe that's the picture that we're seeing, or maybe we're seeing, it's something. I'm gonna pin this kind of the same way. The first time, let's say the first image we got of Cavill, Superman,
whatever.
He's played. Let's say the only pictures that you ever got were, like, the first promo pictures were the one where he's rescuing the oil rig workers.
Right.
One, which was great, because that's the first time it's like, that guy actually looks like
Superman, like he was yoked.
Or you only saw him in the flannel.
Yeah.
It's like, these are the pictures. It's like, we're a year, almost two, still, we're a year out, a year and a half out. So I'd be like, you're a year and a half out from Superman, and the only pictures you get of Clark Kent and or Superman are him in flannel.
Right.
You're going to get a lot of internet buzz. It's like, well, where's the suit? We want to see the suit. Where's the suit?
Right.
They haven't even shown really a good image of Ben Affleck.
No, we've only got the sad Batman so far.
Yeah.
So,
And that was just a black and white.
yeah.
It got leaked, so they decided just to give you a
Yeah.
better resolution picture of the exact same leaked image. So it's like, yeah, we're talking a lot for something that is still at least 18 months away.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what we do here.
We got I mean, we got to speculate. That's our
Yeah.
job. It's, you know, we take little topics and we turn them into big topics. It's, you know, like a basketball fans rushing a court. We've got to talk all day about that because
Right, yeah.
because that happened and that will fill our radio airwaves.
we are your local news telling you that your schools are poisoning your children.
Yes.
That's what we do, without knowing
Right.
whether or not Aquaman is going to look like that or not.
Right. And the pepperoni could be poison for all we know.
Yeah, who cares?
Who cares? Feed them the pepperoni.
It's delicious.
It really is.
It's half MSG anyway.
Anyways, I'm Graham.
And I'm Tana.
That was Thoughts from Crystal Street, and we'll see you next time.